Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. This is Total Fitness Podcast. My name is Matthew,
I'm Walter.
and today, like we mentioned, we are doing a Q&A. This is week 22. Thank you for joining us this far. So, Q&A today. Um, we've decided to only really do like three main questions. We don't want to. We did a Q&A before, and we kind of, we had a lot of questions, and we just kind of weren't able to answer everything as in depth as we may have wanted to, or maybe the questions just didn't require as much answer as we did. So, we're just doing three
Talk
today.
a lot.
We talk a lot. That's true. Yeah. So we're just doing three today. And the first one is not actually part of that question, but a friend of mine mentioned he had a dream about us, myself and Walter, training him. And Walter was telling him to get ice cream. So I said to Walter, what is the purpose of telling him to get ice cream?
Well, there may be two. I mean, the first is don't get ice cream, because ice cream, although it's really, really good, is something you then have to burn off. And I think sorbet, or I make really good juicicles now, that do the job just as well. The other thing, as I said to you, is I think that it means he has to work on his glutes more so that he can bring the boys to the yard. And that's it.
There you go. All right, so we'll jump right into it. So the first question we got, and it's kind of fitting because, the only time we've really talked about this is our first episode, and even then we didn't really go too in depth on it, is what is the purpose and goal of this podcast? What do we want to do with this podcast?
Cash. No. Look, I did a post today about looking at your life and driving yourself forward and how it's all improv. And I think for me, I have learned through my life with the various careers that I had that the thing that drives me most is A, communicating with people, and B, helping people with issues they may have. It's gone through a number of different incarnations. And to me, the reason for this is I want to be able to offer suggestions and help to people who might not be looking for a professional bodybuilder to tell them, for a bro to tell them about it, someone who can look at me personally and say, this old dude is doing it. How can I do it the same? And maybe they will listen to me, and maybe I can help someone.
Right.
That's personally. Our professional side is different, because I think we are working towards building a business of some kind together.
Yeah.
That can be more than just it. But that's us versus me. What about you?
Well, so for me, it's similar. It's two ways, actually. So, like you mentioned, I've always found, as a personal trainer, it's amazing what you can do and connect with people and how you can change people's lives. And ever since I was like grade 9, grade 8, something like that, I've always wanted to be somebody who is able to help a big amount of people, like a large population of people, in any way that I could. I wanted to help them make their lives better. And definitely through communicating my experiences and talking to other people and maybe helping them. I'm no professional psychologist. I'm not a professional bodybuilder like Walter mentioned. I'm just 23 years old.
You are.
I'm 23 years old. I've been through my own shit, and I just want to empathize with people and talk to people so I can learn more and pass on these ideas. Because that whole thing of, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you shouldn't be in that room, right? You should always be learning. You should always be educating yourself. So part of this is exactly that. I want to educate people, and I want to pass on my ideas as well as philosophies and experiences to hopefully help people. But it's also, I'm hoping through this, people will help me in the same exact way, right? Walter and I have been 3 years working on it, 3 years. And 3.5 years of doing that, like just talking to him every single day has given me so much. And now it's like, okay, we can make a business out of it, and we can impact more people. We can meet other people to bring on the show and talk to them with. We can hopefully, start doing seminars, Q&As, talking to people in a general public at conferences and stuff like that. And who knows? I could say one thing, and that one person in the room of 100, 200 people could come up and completely change our lives, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, I love the idea of possibly helping as well as be helped, and doing it in a way that is actually beneficial for everybody.
That's it.
But again, professionally, obviously the same. I want to see something grow. I mean, fitness is what I love. I just want to see us grow through that. I want to help people because again, there's so many people within social media that they talk about some of the mental health side of things, but I've never seen it from my perspective. And I know from my perspective there are quite a few people that are in the same exact boat, and it's the same with you. You know a lot of people that are in the same boat as you, and nobody really talks in depth about it because it's taboo maybe, or it's just not comfortable, or maybe it's like people don't want to hear that, but like people need to hear that, right? So I like that idea of, possibly promoting a business that will actually help people too at the end of the day. Pretty much it.
Anecdotally, I got to tell you, I was talking to a young friend of mine yesterday who was asking me fitness goals and fitness questions, and but he's a bit on the skinnier side, and he's unsure as to what he can achieve. So I pulled your picture, your before and after picture, up on my phone. So you were able to show through your experience what kind of a transformation can happen. And I told him this is a 6-year span. So I think it's 6.
That one was, if it's the one you're thinking, it's 7.
7, okay, a 7-year span. It's not an instantaneous thing, but it can happen. Look at this. And it worked for him, So you never know, again, how you can be helping someone. Sometimes it's not even being in the room.
Yeah.
Your example that can be said. So
yeah, that's a good point, actually, because I was the same when if you know Ziz, right? For those who don't know, Australian bodybuilder, who again, super skinny guy when he started out, and then he like started lifting, and again, same as Walter said, 5-6 years, and boom, the guy is like a Greek god, and his whole philosophy. I mean, he was a party boy. He did it for obviously himself, to give himself confidence and to party and meet girls and meet new people. Sure, it's part of it. If that's part of your reason, by all means, go ahead. But his philosophy of how you should be living life and never take each day for granted was also what inspired me too, right? And I'm watching this guy on YouTube after the fact that he's passed away, unfortunately, because he did pass away. After he passed away, talking about this stuff, and he was in Australia. And I just happened to stumble on his video because, I'm like skinny transformations, right? So, and that's, stuff like that is what really inspires me, because you always see on social media now just the after. You see the before and after sometimes, but it's not posted enough, I feel.
Well, the before and after is always, this is my client.
Yeah.
It's never, this is me.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference too. It's great to say, I can help people make this change, but it's more believable if you've made the change.
Yeah, I think there's something that comes with that too, because when you yourself post that, it shows the dedication that you went through. Because it's great to have a client that did that, but at the same time, as trainers and as coaches, we can tell people how to eat to lose weight. We can tell people how to eat to gain weight. We can tell people how to train to lose weight, to gain weight, to be more flexible, like everything. We can do everything, but we're telling them how and we're showing them how. We can't do it for them.
Mm.
So that's it. I have people always coming to me being like, I've had people in the past, clients that are like, you had great genetics, like, holy crap. And I'm like, I used to be 115 pounds. They're like, bullshit. No, you weren't. And again, I show them a picture. I'm like, this was 8 years. This is 8 years. And they're like, oh my God, how much work did you put in? It's like in and out every single day.
Exactly.
The diet's the same every day. The training's the same. And they're like, isn't that boring? Like, I'm like, no, I love it. The food, I'm not much of a foodie, if you call it that. I've never cared for much. But, I love it. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing this every day to make it change.
I mean, do you talk to Karen Kane about her ballet career and say, well, wasn't it boring doing the same thing every day?
Yeah.
Do you talk to, someone who is a great artist and say, hey, but you have to do all those other paintings that weren't that good. Yeah. Why did you bother?
It's easier to make the excuse of they were born like that, they had the talent already, their genetics were great. Or, it's just easier to see like it puts in perspective when you post the before and after and explain how long it took. What I'm finding more impressive now, and for those that are bodybuilders, you'll understand this, is, for example, Sergio Olivia Jr. He's a younger bodybuilder. I think he's like 28 now, but he posted recently his 5 year transformation, and in 5 years, he gains a hard earned muscle. You know, he gained about 20, 30 pounds, which doesn't sound like much. And when you see the pictures side by side, you're like, it's not that much. Yeah, his arms and legs are a bit bigger, but that's what it takes. It takes 5 years to get that small amount of muscle, right? Because you get to a point where, yeah, it's going to become harder and harder and harder, and that's where you have to push more and more and more. And hopefully by that point, yeah, exactly. And hopefully by that point, you're dedicated enough to be willing to put in the work. You love it enough to be willing to put in the work in and out every day. And again, to wrap this all up is, yeah, that's what I want to help people understand is the experiences I've went through in terms of being skinny, being made fun of for that, the mental health things, the suicidal thoughts, the depression, the anxiety. I had to do that every single day for years before I was able to dig myself out and build myself up. Because nobody talks about that. They just talk about the end result, and that's what you see all the time on social media. Is you see the highlight reel.
Yeah. Well, it looks great to receive a Tony Award, but nobody talks about the years of going to auditions and not getting the job, and then finally getting the job, and then spending 6 months in rehearsal to get it right.
Yeah.
And doing it 180 times over the course of a year or whatever to get the award. They just see you standing up there going, thanks.
Yeah.
It's got to end up being a love for the journey that is greater than the love for the goal.
Exactly. The goal is nice, not gonna lie. It's a nice little cherry on top of that reward. But I'd rather have the Sunday.
Yeah. Ooh,
especially now. 10 weeks out.
No thanks.
No, can't have it. Not for 10 more weeks. Anyways, so that's the our more expanded answer of what our goal is and what the purpose of this podcast is. I think that's a good segue into actually the next question. I'm not sure if you good to answer that one. The sobriety.
Well, you say what the question is. You ask the question, and I'll answer.
So this was actually all it said. So they didn't really say much. They just said, "Can you explain a little bit more on your sobriety?" I don't know what they really wanted for that, but that was the question. I mean, you can kind of take that your own way and what you want to talk about if you do. Maybe related to.
It's great, it's just great. Okay, so I'm a drunk and I'm a drug addict. And for a period of my life, those are the things that ran my life. And I was functional, but I still made a lot of other people miserable. I'm still a son of a bitch sometimes, but I did it daily. Until I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't live my life that way because I was running out of money and I was running out of everything, self-respect. So I got help, and I will not mention how I got the help. I will just say that help is available out there if you're looking for it. But through group work with friends who are like me, I got to see a way of changing my life. Now, to me, sobriety just means doing the right thing on a daily basis and being attached to my higher power. Now, you can think that I'm religious. I'm not religious. I don't believe in any religion. I think religions are made by man, but spirituality is made by God. And personally, I'd rather go for the big picture than the small picture. Something to me made this, because there's no way that this universe could have just, the Big Bang just doesn't explain it enough. Something had to design things, make up all the rules, the physics and all that stuff. So that is what drives me now. My purpose is to try and live a life that reflects doing the right thing on a daily basis. No more than that, because I did so much of the wrong things before.
Right.
But, all I've got to say is, reflection on yourself becoming more aware of who you are, why you do the things you do, is important. Being willing to say, you know what, I made a mistake, I was wrong, is really important. And that's a hard one to learn. It was a hard one for me to learn. But it's a very important lesson to learn. And I think that they warn us about thinking that we can fix the world, because, you know, you can't fix the world. But I do believe that in these times, if more thought was put into just doing the right thing, a lot of the problems we're having now, due to societal shifts, due to political problems, all that stuff, would be better than they are.
Right.
But right now, I mean, a lot of us have been raised to be working for myself, finding out what's good for me, what's good for me, what's good for me. And sometimes if you look and you say, well, what's good for everybody instead, and take a back seat to other things, then you actually get more out of it than you would have before.
Right.
If I go into the club and I say, you're going to do this today, and you're going to do that today, and you're going to eat this, what do you mean you ate that? You're not supposed to eat that. What did I tell you about your diet? I'm not going to help anybody. But if I understand and listen to the problems that my client is having, and I try to help them through my listening, through saying, you know, I've got a friend, I'll show you a picture. You know, you're not in such a bad position. It is possible for you to gain the weight you think you're going to gain. Mm-hmm. Then I'm helping them and I'm doing the right thing. And to me, again, that is what sobriety is all about.
Right.
I don't know what else to say.
I mean, that's...
If you need help, you can DM me anytime. If you need help, you can be aware that there are places to go and things you can do. Right. It's usually advertised at the very, very beginning of the phone book, if that exists anymore. So, you know, we're all here just to grow and learn. And I think that if you're willing to do that, you're in a good place.
I think if you're willing to do that and accept that you have to sometimes unlearn and realize you aren't what you thought you were.
Yeah, I'm not God.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, cool. I don't really have anything to say to that, obviously, because I haven't had that. But anything else, or that's...
I think that's it. I don't know what else to say. But again, you know, feel free, anybody who hears this, who feels the need, DM me. I can talk to you. We can get in touch, or I can put you in line, perhaps, to talk to someone else. That being said, you know, psychiatry is good. Analysis is good. All those things help too. There are many, many ways to approach a problem and still find a way to fix it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. We'll do one more fitness question. I like this one because it was actually fitness related today. Because we just had the mental health in that. So, cheat meals, recommendations, not recommendations, cheat meal recommended or not? I guess I could talk to this one.
Yeah, you talk to that one a bit, and I'll answer at the end.
Yeah, so two things. It depends where you are. So I'll answer, excuse me, if you're just starting a weight loss journey, and that is the goal, is just weight loss over a period of time to be healthy, to maintain, all that sort of stuff. Cheat meals, I would recommend. I mean, I would give my clients cheat meals. I would tell them what to eat. I would say, hey, what are you thinking of eating? Okay, that's fine. They still have control. Like, it's not like I'm going to have 2 pizzas, a large sundae, hamburgers, fries, chips, and my cheat meal that was just supposed to be a hamburger and fries is now going to be expanded over to an 8-hour period where I just won't stop eating. That is a definite no-no. I would usually say, you know, if you want a burger and fries, if you want to head out with your girlfriends, boyfriends, friends, parents on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, so you can have dinner and socialize, by all means. If you end up getting pasta, fish, whatever, just, you know, make decent choices. Most restaurants now have calories on them. If you see the chocolate cake that's, you know, the size of your palm is 2,000 calories, maybe not worth it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, mainly because when you're just starting a weight loss journey, typically you don't know how to eat properly. So it's pretty hard to go from eating one meal a day, then two meals the next day, then just eating like shit the day after and drinking and all this stuff. It's hard to get into that routine of, wow, I actually have to eat this, 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 and this every single day for the next 7 days. Holy, right? It can kind of mess with people if they don't really have something to look forward to. Because a lot of the time, and we can both attest this, if you're on a 12-week diet, it's like, holy shit, all you're thinking about is that donut. All you're thinking about is that cheat meal the day of the show. Which people are like, if that's all you're thinking about, you're not a real bodybuilder. Bullshit. We all think about that cheat meal
Those
after
last
the
few
show.
days, yeah.
That's all you think about. That's what's getting you through. It's the adrenaline pushing you. But again, if you're not in that, again, just normal weight loss, normal client, yeah, I mean, you can't do that to somebody who's never dieted before or never had the experience of understanding what it's like. Some people are great. I've had a client before that literally went for 3 months straight, went from eating like horribly to prepping every meal, eating the same thing, variations of the same thing every night so it would taste different. And he lost 30 pounds in 3 months. It was incredible. Um, so yeah, I would say, if you're just starting out, definitely have a cheat meal, moderation, right? Then we have the other end of the spectrum, which is more Walter and I. So we're bodybuilders. So cheat meal is recommended. That's dependent on what your goal is. So let's say we're doing our off season. You're trying to gain weight, enjoy it. You can lose the weight. It's pretty, for guys like us, we know how to diet. It's pretty easy over a 12, 14, 16-week period to lose some weight, right? What's a hamburger once a week going to do to us? If we're closer to a show though, so like what we're doing now, I would say no, unless it's needed. And when do you actually need it? So a cheat meal can actually be very beneficial in terms of helping you lose weight. Because when you're dieting hard for so long, let's say you've been dieting for 6 weeks already and your muscles start to lose a bit of that pump look, that fullness look, which is glycogen because you're on low carbs. So you start losing that glycogen look, you're stringy, you're flat. You don't look as hard, you don't look as full, you don't look as muscular. That's when it's needed because you need those carbs to help actually kickstart your metabolism and help burning fat again. It's also like if you plateau, if your weight plateaus at 190 pounds, for example, you have a cheat meal that Sunday, you could wake up the Monday and lose 5 pounds from that. And then that whole week is just your body is burning that fuel that you had, so you're losing even more weight. Obviously, when you get closer to the show, you have to cut it out. Like if you're 2 weeks out from a show, 3 weeks out from a show, depending on how you look, not the smartest idea. But yeah, definitely. Like right now, it's not really needed. We're both in the position of we're losing weight well. We haven't plateaued. There's not really any need for it right now. But I'm sure we're only 10 weeks out as of tomorrow. As of Saturday. So maybe 8 weeks. 8 weeks out, right? We're doing a lot of cardio. We're doing a lot of weightlifting. The gyms are opening soon, hopefully. So we'll be back into that. So yeah, knock on wood. So yeah, at that point, we'll look at you have to look at it unbiasedly because you always want that cheat meal. But you look at the pictures and you say, Walter's 180. He's been that weight for the past 2 weeks. He's looking a little flat. Let's give him a cheat meal of a burger and fries. Boom. Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, whatever it is, your body, needs to metabolize the carbs and that. And then boom, he's down 2 pounds just from a cheat meal, from eating more, right? So yeah, that's my take on it. That seems to be the general consensus in terms of bodybuilding and the general consensus in terms of just a regular weight loss plan.
Yeah.
Your opinion?
I agree with everything you said scientifically in terms of weight loss, in terms of body composition. Yes, all those things are true. The one thing I really dislike, and it's from a mindfulness position, is the word cheat. Because cheat means you're doing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do something bad, being the person that I've already just told you I am, then it gives me a chance to think badly of myself because I cheated.
Right.
Or extend that cheat just a little bit longer and make it the 8 hours instead of the one meal. So to me, the word refeed is really good.
Yeah.
Or just being, what do I need right now? What is my body requiring right now is a better way for me to look at it.
Right.
If I think cheat, I'm going to get myself into some kind of trouble. And that's just words, but words can mean a lot.
Words have power.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I would say, everything you said was absolutely on the mark. And, I love, well, I have a client that I just told has to add like 300 calories to his diet because he's trying to lose weight. And he's not, because he has himself on such a low calorie diet before I started working with him that he can't lose any weight. His body's just maintaining. So, to be able to say that, and it's bizarre, and people look at you like crazy, but then it works.
Well, it's a good point to bring up, because I have clients on multiple occasions that I found out were eating like 800 calories a day, and not losing weight. And part of the reason is because, sure, they eat 800 calories in a day, and then they have like 2,000 calories at night. So that's not the clients I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that Walter is, that actually only eat like 800 calories a day, and then like binge on the weekends, because that's typically how that goes. Yeah, you need to eat more to lose weight, which sounds counterproductive and counterintuitive. Yeah. So how does that work? Because again, your body, your metabolism is shut. You just have nothing left to run off of. So your body is like, what am I going to do? I can't do anything anymore. So that's it, right? So that's exactly it. And I've had clients that I say, you need to eat more, and they're scared to, because they're like, I'm going to gain weight. They associate carbs, fat with food, or any type of food.
Carbs are bad, eh?
Carbs are bad. Fat's bad. Protein can be bad if it's too many calories. No, you need to eat to lose weight. You need to have your body composition actually change. And that's it. That's typically what happens after the first week. I've gained like 2 pounds. I'm like, yeah, because you're eating more. Not because you're eating more, because you're eating more, and the carbs that you have received, the water in your body is now being absorbed into those carbohydrates, and it's turning into glycogen, blah, 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 all that shit. And now what is going to happen the next week is you're going to drop 5 pounds, because your body's going to readjust.
Or you will not drop 5 pounds. You will drop 2 inches on your waist.
Yeah, one of the two.
That's exactly it. What are you looking for? Because most of the clients, they think it's the number on the scale, but it's really what they look like in clothes. Let's face it.
Yeah,
so that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't worry about the scale. I'm all about how do you look, how do you feel. Obviously, for us, we have to worry about the scale because we have a weight to meet, a weight class, a weight limit to meet when we compete. But right at the start, I always wanted to gain weight. Day in, day out, I would weigh myself every morning and every night. And if I didn't gain at least, a pound during the day, I didn't eat enough. And I was just like, I was 210 pounds this morning. How did I get down to 207? I didn't eat enough. I was like, no, it's probably because you just went to the bathroom 10 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm not joking. I will say shit like that. But that's it. It's like, yeah, it's so mentally draining and just so bad for your mental health state. Yeah. And honestly, it affects how you train, right? So don't worry about the scale. Worry about, how you look, how you feel. Do you feel stronger today? Are you able to lift up those groceries off the floor and bring them to the house in one trip? That's amazing. Stuff that you don't really think about because all you're told and all you're forced into is, it's how much weight you lost and how fast you lost it. No, don't worry about that shit. No. So yeah,
you can gain weight by changing your composition. Yeah. And all friends will say, "Wow, you lost so much weight because you've changed the composition." So it's not about what the number is.
I would show a picture, but my webcam isn't good enough. But that's exactly it. I get people, when I lose weight, say, "Oh my God, you got so big." I'm like, if I'm wearing a t-shirt, hell no, they're not saying that. But if I'm in the change room, just about to shower or something, I'll get people coming in and they're like, "Oh my God, Matt, dude, how did you gain like 10 pounds in like 2 weeks?" I was like, "No, I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. The fat was covering everything. You look bigger when you lose weight and show more muscle."
Yeah.
So that's another thing to keep in mind too. But yeah, exactly. You could actually be gaining weight and look smaller, look skinnier, looks more toned and all that. Because again, muscle is more dense. If you change your body composition, you're losing fat, you're gaining muscle, you look, feel, act, and you're just overall healthier and feel better.
Yeah.
So that's that. Have a cheat meal if
Good.
you want, if it's required, if you need it.
Yeah.
Refeed. Refeed.
Be very careful.
We've all done it. We've all done that. I'm just gonna have one more piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you very much for your questions. We're probably going to do another in about same amount of time, another 6 weeks or so, 4 to 6 weeks. By all means, though, keep sending your questions in. We love getting DMs, answering your questions. If we think it's a really good topic, we'll definitely make a podcast of it. So by all means, send them in.
We can build a whole podcast out of one question.
Exactly.
Kind of Q&A.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, we're 30 minutes in off of 3 questions, right? And we stopped ourselves from talking. We ramble. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Again, Instagram, DM us on Total Fitness Podcast or Walter or myself, or leave a comment in the YouTube, or just reach out on Facebook, whatever is easiest for you guys.
And do keep an eye out, because we have a recipe a week, we have a fitness workout a week, and we have a mindfulness mental health talk a week. So there's always going to be something you can look at, plus our podcast. So you're getting a lot of stuff. Isn't that great?
We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. So again, tomorrow is Friday. I mean, we're uploading this next week, so you already seen it, and it's Walter, and it's great. So go watch it if you haven't already.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you later.